Good morning, everyone. Dr. Victoria Scribo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today is Friday, April 29th, and the moon is in Aries. It does slip into Taurus at 8:19 p.m. on the east coast of the U.S. So for the most part, the most active parts of the day, at least, have the moon in Aries. Of course, Aries is that sort of self-starter moon. There's a lot of courage with the moon in Aries. We tend to act and jump into things without too much forethought. Aries isn't known for its forethought, which is good, because if we thought about everything we had to start, we would often not start anything. So there's an optimism about Aries that sometimes makes us take on more than we think. My husband is an Aries, Michael, and he usually takes on a project with a lot of optimism, and then he usually finishes it, but at the end of it he'll usually say, wow, that was harder than I thought, or that was more than I thought it was going to take, that kind of stuff. You think at this point in his life he'd realize that, but at least things get done. All right, so today we have a couple of shifts. The moon is one of them. The other shift is Mercury moves into Gemini today. That occurs later in the day. And of course, Mercury being the ruling planet of Gemini, Mercury likes being in Gemini. It's about collecting the data. It's about understanding the information and collecting the information. Actually, it's more about collecting it than understanding it. We get the understanding through its opposite sign of Sagittarius. The signs of Gemini and Sagittarius are the signs. Oh, look at this. This is pretty, right? There's little flowers there. I mean, actually, that's not flowers. Well, it might be flowers. That's spirea all around the yard. We have some over there against the yellow thing against the house. That's spirea. Anyway, so we do have that going on today. And then probably the most maybe critical in the large picture is that Pluto stations retrograde. And it's going to be retrograde for about 4 months. Usually Pluto goes retrograde for 4 months. So it's at about 29 degrees of Capricorn. Not out of Capricorn yet. Doesn't go out of Capricorn, at least for a bit, until next year. But when it does just change direction, it does take a couple of days to actually do that. And a lot of power is sort of stored up in the change of directions, and often we'll see stuff in the larger world, changes, big changes. It is a time of reevaluating the progress of our collective soul as it goes retrograde. So that's what's happening today. So I think what we'll see is a shift in larger scale issues. Probably see some big shift in the Ukraine situation, and of course we'll see also a change in the U.S. because we are in the middle of our Pluto return, and we do have Pluto in Capricorn, which in some cases can be defined as the military-industrial complex. And we can kind of see ourselves repositioning ourselves for, I don't know, world something. I'd like to think world support, but that's another story for another day. So generally a good day. A day where you can get some things done. The thing about Mercury retrograde is Mercury is retrograde, but it is in its shadow. Mercury retrograde. Mercury ingress into Gemini. Apologize. But Mercury is going to go retrograde on the 10th of May, and it is in its shadow, pre-shadow, but still, it's not nearly as confusing as the Mercury retrograde can be, which simply requires us to double check all our facts. And I have a feeling there are going to be a lot of facts coming out, and they're all going to need to be evaluated, and we'll see how much smarter we are, and whether we can utilize that information to help ourselves and our world. All right, guys. Michael was out here yesterday, hacking away at the rice plants I told you about yesterday. But we're just gonna go this way because that was a little bit messy up there, and just see what's coming up over here. Now that things are coming up, it's fun to see what comes up next. All right. So, all right, guys. Well, have yourself a wonderful day. Please like and subscribe, and check out my Taroscopes and my Moon Shadows with Ona if you haven't already. It was a fun way to spend an hour with a friend, and so I think we got some good information and some good insights in that. So if you haven't seen it, check it out, and keep your eyes peeled for the Astrology Ball of May, which is coming up. And check out your Taroscopes. Those came out a couple of days ago. And they don't always necessarily align, even if it's your sign that I'm doing. You just listen, take it or leave it. It's up to you. But somebody out there needs to hear what is said, and that person will hear it. So, Mayflowers. Oh, look. We have the lilacs, the white lilacs coming up now. Oh, these are awesome. I'm going to just take a sniff while you're looking. Oh, yeah. I can feel them. I can smell them now. And, of course, the May bush here, the Mayflower, which looks a little to me like some sort of verbena, but I'm not sure about that. But this is an oldie. And last year, very little of it bloomed, so it's kind of a bummer because we had a couple of heavy snow things happen on it, and I think it damaged the plant a little bit, but it looks like it's coming back, which is always a good thing. All right, guys, have yourself a wonderful day. Like and subscribe. Namaste.